about the Olympics. And anyone who knows me knows I don't deal that much with sports. I like to play them, but so I said, the Olympics? You mean that President Obama just went to Copenhagen to try to get the Olympics in Chicago? And they said, and he didn't get them. I said, I know that. And they said, you mean the Rio Olympics? They said, and that made them think that I wasn't telling the truth, because the Vancouver Olympics were coming up, which I wasn't really particularly aware of. Are you denying that you're coming here to talk about this? And I said, well, until now, I wasn't planning to talk about the Vancouver Olympics. They pulled me aside in a room, took my picture, took my colleagues' pictures. They stapled documents into our passport. I said I wasn't aware we needed a visa to come into your country. And I opened it up and said we had 48 hours to stay in Canada. That's as long as our trip was going to be. I was speaking at the University of Victoria and at the library. So we raced up, and thank goodness for Canadians, they'd all gone out for beer. The audience had come back threefold larger because of what had taken place. I gave my talk, discussed the Vancouver Olympics with them, actually asked more, why would people be so concerned? Raced over the next night to speak at the University of Victoria, and interestingly, we stayed at a bed and breakfast, and everyone was having tea right before dinner at 6 o'clock. And I sat down quietly in this room of the bed and breakfast where all the older folks were having their tea, and they turned on the news, and the first story was about me getting detained, and everyone looks over at me. I said, oh no, I'm just here to give a speech. It became a very big story in Canada because the second story was about how in the Vancouver City Council had voted that anyone who put up a sign against the Olympics, their house could be raided if athletes could not speak about the corporations that were sponsoring the Olympics. So the British Columbia Civil Liberties Association was involved. So there was a great outcry about this. It got a lot of attention in Canada, that they would detain an American journalist, demand to know what I would say, and if it wasn't satisfactory to them, keep me from coming into the country. So we did come back to New York, and the next show we did was about the Vancouver Olympics. But let it never be said that the state determines what it is that Democracy Now! Broadcasts. But on that day, it certainly provided fodder for a show.
Two more questions, Amy Goodman. How many speeches do you give a year?
Many. We did, with the silence majority, about 100 city tours, sometimes 3 in a day. As we're traveling, we do the show in the morning, and then we go to universities. We have public events, and mainly they are fundraisers for community media stations around the country.
Most of your books are dedicated or in memory of your parents?
Yes.
Who were and are they?
My one